Hello, this is April, the artist behind InvokeArtSense. Welcome back to another video. And this time, this is an in process video, a sped up video this time, just because I really wanted to focus on the painting, and that's sometimes what we need to do instead of just, chit-chatting while we're painting. But anyways, I am using gouache. Gouache is not my friend. Gouache is just not something I have perfected, but I did actually get somewhere today. And the reason why I wanted to use gouache first was just because oils take time to dry, as we know, if you are familiar with oils, and also the smell of the chemicals. I just didn't really want to get into that right now. But so this just gives me some foundation before I really get into the oils. And of course, now I'm battling the face, and with gouache, I'm using the Miyahime gouache. And when you first get it, it's like very moist. It's like in those cups and stuff. And even then, even when it dries, and it doesn't make it any easier. You still have to use some water with it. And so, of course, it acts like watercolor when I don't want it to act like watercolor. And of course, being on canvas, that does not play very well. So, air practice and trial and errors. But and then you just have to end up having to basically block colors in, and then also, when I was doing my sketch, I should have just sketched it like normal with my ColorSense pencils, instead of like using paint. But I like both ways, blocking out the actual sketch in a paint, just sketch, or using a color erase sketch with the pencil on the canvas. But anyways, I had drawn her shoulder out, but I lost it. If you notice, like, but I did notice later in this painting that, oh, her shoulder's missing because it doesn't look right. I guess it's okay this way, but I thought it looked better with the shoulder out a little bit, which is what I ended up putting back in. And that's why gouache is better in this case. It dries faster. I don't have to worry about oils taking forever if I were using oils. And I am obviously going for a pink theme, and I'm also um, getting inspiration from Camilla D'Erigo. She does a lot of like pop surrealistic art, as I talked about in my intro video. You can find that video. I will pin it right here, and then you can watch that video. I got inspiration for the animals that are like in random places. I didn't put one on her head like Camilla has a lot of animals on her figures' heads. But there's a hippocampus in her hand, and the Pegasus. I ended up making that horse a Pegasus that's on her tail. And so the colors I'm going for is that nice, fun colors, the same kind of colors I was using in my watercolor painting I did with the Kuretaki Gansai paintings. So something fun. I didn't get to that bottom section with the book and the fish. I was not ready for that today. But I did get enough done today that I'm pretty satisfied. I'm actually really also happy about the hands. Hands used to be really difficult for me, but it's all about blocking and shapes. So keep things simple when you first start off. And if it doesn't look right, then go back to the foundations, and then go with like general shapes at first, and then use different colors, especially when you first start the painting. And it is hard to describe, but like the outside of the thumb, use a lighter color, and the other fingers are going to be a different color. Anyways, I don't, this is a really, really fun painting, and I'm really excited for this painting to be come out to be to show the story of my life, about like that 5-year block, art not being made, art's being brought back, and also like, like those characters in the painting at the top are that happiness that was gone, that is coming back to show that mermaid, that character, that you can do it. And then from that darkness on the bottom, she's able to pull the art out that sunk down into the deep of the sea, deep, well, in your mind, sunk in, like for me, that just disappeared in my mind. It just it was buried in my mind. So to bring it out, you needed some like inspiration, and this inspiration for me, maybe came from change of life, and the realization that it was important for me, and I just have to rediscover what my love for the art, my love for the art, and to make it mine. Like my name is InvokeArtSense, right? What makes art? What is the meaning of art to you? And then also what invokes you to, make the art. So even if you're having a hard time with different obstacles like medical, physical, mental obstacles, art can be that inspiration to make things a little easier as far as how you go through your process in the art making, in life making, in all kinds of, processes. So that's what I'm trying to discover right now. The things that I've gone through in the last 5 years, a lot. Cancer being one of them. I'm fine now. Went through radiation, but that that stuff that you go through while you're going through that reality, that life, it's, you could put it on a canvas, and you can translate that into a story. And then that's why I like surrealistic art. That's a story. Is it real? No. Does it have to be? No. But it can be real to you. And so anyways, oh, back to the actual figure. I got the shoulder right, and then like, the spacing, so I was like, oh, it's off. And then I even extended the other shoulder out because just, I was like, okay, think of that barrel of her chest as a triangle. Well, the triangle was missing, so I had to extend that out. Of course, make that her chest natural, and then of course I, after a little bit, uh make the shadows. I'm too early right now for any kind of shading or shadows, but I'm still laying down that foundation to get where I'm going with the colors. I'm going for of course, pink. I love pink. You're not probably going to ever see something that's not going to be pink in my art. Everything is pink. As much as I can help it, everything is going to be pink. But I wanted to add the green, pink, and a little bit of blue, maybe a little bit of blue. But I think it's going to be more of just a mix of the blue, like a gradient. And that's probably going to be down in the bottom, in the C part. And then, of course, I'm using those lines that I got inspiration from Camilla. All those different lines. I think that brings a lot of fun to the piece. Besides having a book that's just there, what's the book for? Of course, I'm going to paint brushes that are like, swimming towards that book, and then the fish, I believe, that are also swimming towards the book. Different things. But yeah, right now I'm fixing up like that shoulder. I'm loving the look of this now, and I even in my previous video I was talking about what makes finished art. Like, could I have just left it as that previous painting with just the watercolor version of this? Probably, which I have done many times in the past. um I don't know, maybe it was lack of motivation, maybe it's just because I was happy with that piece. But after I was done with that, I liked it, as it is by itself. But making like a little piece like that first, in like especially watercolor, helps like you get that composition out in a bigger piece like this. uh Very in love, and I hope that you also love it, and see you for the next video. I'm not sure exactly when, but bye now.